above Bangkok appears almost endless. Towers rise beside the Chao Phraya River, highways cut through dense neighborhoods, and millions of lights begin to glow as day turns into night. At first glance, this is a city of glass, steel, speed, and ambition. Yet Bangkok is never only one thing. Behind every modern skyline is an older rhythm, and beneath the noise of traffic is a city shaped by water, faith, trade, and everyday human life. Along the river, new landmarks shine like symbols of a changing capital. Shopping complexes, hotels, and high-rise residences reflect across the dark surface of the Chao Phraya. These buildings show a Bangkok that looks confidently toward the future. But the river beside them has carried people, goods, and stories through the city for generations. Even in the most modern districts, the past is never far away. Seen from this distance, Bangkok seems unified. But the closer we look, the more its divisions begin to appear. Each neighborhood follows a different rhythm. Some districts wake to the sound of trains and office traffic, while others begin with boats on the river, market shutters opening, and vendors arranging food beside the road. The city is not one continuous experience. It is a collection of overlapping worlds, connected by bridges, stations, alleys, waterways, and the movement of people. To understand Bangkok, we must move between these worlds rather than remain above them. Bangkok moves early, quickly, and constantly. Inside train stations, commuters gather in long lines. Doors open, crowds step forward, and within seconds the platforms fill again. The elevated rail system has become part of daily life, carrying office workers, students, visitors, and families above streets that are often crowded below. In a city where distance can feel enormous, public transportation is more than a convenience. It is one of the systems that keeps Bangkok moving. Inside the train, the mood changes. The city outside rushes past, but passengers sit quietly looking at their phones, talking softly, or simply resting between one destination and the next. These small moments reveal another side of Bangkok. It may be famous for excitement and nightlife, but much of its daily life is ordinary, disciplined, and deeply familiar to the people who live here. Below the tracks, the streets tell a different story. Buses, taxis, motorcycles, private cars, and delivery vehicles compete for limited space. At major intersections, traffic gathers in every direction. The bright colors of Bangkok's taxis stand out immediately, while motorcycles move through narrow gaps that larger vehicles cannot enter. To a first-time visitor, the scene may look chaotic, but within that chaos is a rhythm understood by local drivers, commuters, vendors, and pedestrians. Bangkok is a city built not only around roads, but around layers. Trains move above the street. Cars and buses fill the road below. Walkways connect shopping centers and stations, while small shops remain open beside giant buildings. People cross between all of these worlds in a matter of minutes. A person may leave a quiet residential lane, ride a motorcycle taxi to a station, take an elevated train across the city, and arrive in a modern business district before the morning is over. As the camera moves closer to the street, Bangkok becomes more personal. People wait at crossings, gather beneath elevated rail lines, and walk along narrow pavements. Old buildings stand beside newer ones. Electrical wires stretch above shop fronts, while food carts appear at street corners. A temple wall may be only a few minutes from a commercial district. This mixture is not an exception, it is the character of the city itself. At street level, the scale of the city can feel overwhelming. Towers disappear behind concrete structures. Signs compete for attention, and every open space seems to have a purpose. A narrow corner may become a motorcycle stand in the morning, a food stall at noon, and a meeting place after dark. Bangkok constantly adapts to limited space. Its residents learn how to use the city in practical ways, turning pavements, entrances, bridges, and small storefronts into places of work, travel, conversation, and rest. Then the signs begin to change. Red lanterns, Chinese characters, golden decorations, and bright storefronts announce the entrance to Yaowarat, Bangkok's Chinatown. This district has long been one of the city's busiest centers of trade. During the day, its streets are filled with shops, markets, medicine stores, gold dealers, workers, and delivery vehicles. At night, Yaowarat becomes one of Bangkok's most recognizable scenes. As evening arrives, neon lights transform the street, signs glow above cars and crowds, restaurants open their kitchens, vendors prepare tables, grills, pots, and trays. The air becomes warmer, louder, and more fragrant. People come here not only to eat, but to experience the energy of a neighborhood that has built its identity through generations of migration, business, and family life. Yaowarat feels different from the modern districts along the river, yet the two are connected by the same city. One represents new wealth and large-scale development. The other represents dense street life, inherited traditions, and businesses shaped by community. Bangkok does not force these worlds to remain separate. They exist side by side, sometimes only a few train stops apart. On the pavements, diners sit close to the traffic. Vendors work with speed and concentration. Metal pans strike against stoves. Ladles move through boiling pots, and orders are prepared one after another. The experience is direct and informal. There is little distance between the person cooking and the person eating. In Bangkok, food is often not hidden behind a kitchen wall. It becomes part of the street itself. Farther along, the modern riverside returns. ICONET glows across the water, its bright exterior reflected in the Chao Phraya. The scene could belong to any major global capital. Yet only a short distance away, small restaurants, local markets, old neighborhoods, and religious buildings continue their daily routines. This contrast gives Bangkok its unique visual power. Night markets bring another layer of life. Under rows of lights, people move between stalls selling meals, snacks, fruit, clothing, flowers, and household goods. Some visitors come to explore. Others come because this is where they shop, eat, and meet friends after work. Markets are not simply attractions created for tourists, they are active social spaces where the city gathers. The night continues beyond the market. Convenience stores remain open. Motorcycles wait near the curb. Small restaurants serve late customers. Street vendors clean their equipment or prepare for another round of orders. In many cities, darkness means the day is ending. In Bangkok, it often means a different city is beginning. What makes these night scenes memorable is not only the brightness, but the sense that the city is still fully awake. Workers finish late shifts, families search for dinner, tourists study unfamiliar menace, and friends gather around small tables. In one direction, music rises from a busy street. In another, a temple gate has already closed for the evening. Bangkok at night is not a single entertainment district. It is a second daily cycle with its own workers, customers, routines, and quiet moments hidden behind the crowds. This is one face of Bangkok, bright, crowded, modern, restless, and full of movement. But to understand the city more deeply, we must leave the skyline for a moment and enter its streets, festivals, neighborhoods, and markets. There, Bangkok reveals not only how it looks, but how it feels to live within it. Bangkok's energy becomes most visible when the streets turn into a celebration. During Songkran, the traditional Thai New Year, ordinary roads are transformed by music, water, color, and enormous crowds. People carry water guns, buckets, and waterproof bags. Friends spray one another from the pavement. Strangers laugh together. And for several days, the heat of April becomes part of a citywide ritual. To visitors, Songkran may first appear to be a giant water fight, but water carries a deeper meaning. Traditionally, it represents cleansing, renewal, and the washing away of misfortune before a new year begins. Families visit temples, younger people show respect to elders, and communities take part in ceremonies that connect celebration with gratitude. In modern Bangkok, these older meanings now exist beside large public parties. The crowds are dense, but the mood is playful. Water falls from above, sprays across the street, and soaks nearly everyone in sight. People arrive from many countries, yet for a moment they participate in the same event. Songkran shows Bangkok at its most open and social. The city becomes a shared stage where tradition, tourism, youth culture, and local identity meet. The festival also changes the relationship between strangers. On an ordinary day, people may pass one another without speaking. During Songkran, a smile, a raised water gun, or a splash from a bucket becomes an invitation to join the celebration. The usual boundaries of age, nationality, and social position become less visible for a few hours. Yet behind the laughter is an important idea. A new beginning is not only private, it is shared with family, neighbors, and the wider community. Bangkok celebrates renewal in public, filling entire streets with movement. After the celebration, the streets return to their familiar rhythm. Cars fill the roads again, tuk-tuks move between traffic, and the city continues its work. Riding in a tuk-tuk offers a close view of Bangkok at street level. The vehicle is small, exposed, and noisy. From the passenger seat, the city does not pass behind glass. Heat, sound, exhaust, food aromas, and conversations all become part of the journey. But the real Bangkok is not found only on major roads. Turn into a smaller neighborhood and the pace changes. Old wooden houses stand beside concrete buildings. Chairs and tables appear outside shop fronts. Residents recognize one another, while small businesses operate from spaces that are both homes and workplaces. These streets may not appear on famous travel posters, yet they hold much of the city's daily character. An elderly woman sits behind drinks and small goods arranged on a simple table. Nearby, another vendor prepares food in a narrow space beside the road. These are modest scenes, but they are important. Bangkok's economy is supported not only by corporations, hotels, and shopping centers, but by thousands of family businesses and independent workers who begin early and serve their neighborhoods throughout the day. A Buddhist monk walks through the crowd in an orange robe. His presence is immediately visible, even on a busy commercial street. Buddhism is woven deeply into everyday life in Thailand. Temples provide places for worship, learning, charity, and community gatherings. Monks can be seen traveling through the city, receiving offerings, attending ceremonies, and carrying out routines that have continued even as Bangkok has modernized around them. The contrast is striking. A monk passes motorcycles, parked cars, food carts, and pedestrians. Old spiritual traditions move through a modern urban environment without disappearing. This is one of Bangkok's defining qualities. The city changes quickly, but it rarely erases every trace of what came before. In these quieter neighborhoods, time is measured differently. The arrival of regular customers, the opening of a nearby school, the passing of monks in the morning, and the return of workers in the evening create a familiar pattern. People know which shop sells a favorite meal, which vendor has worked on the same corner for years, and which route is fastest when the main road becomes crowded. These details rarely appear in guidebooks, but they are essential to daily life. A city becomes home through repetition, recognition, and small acts of trust. At roadside kitchens, work begins long before a meal reaches the customer. Rice is cooked in large pots, broth simmers. Ingredients are washed, cut, mixed, and portioned. Each movement is repeated with the efficiency of someone who has prepared the same dish hundreds or even thousands of times. Street food may look casual, but the people behind it often work with intense skill and discipline. Customers arrive on foot, by motorcycle, or in tuk-tuks. Some stop for only a few minutes. Others sit at small tables near the street. Meals are fast, affordable, and closely connected to the rhythm of working life. For many residents, street food is not an occasional adventure. It is breakfast before work, lunch between tasks, or dinner on the way home. Transportation and food are closely connected in Bangkok. Stations, markets, and busy intersections attract vendors because people are already passing through. Near ticket gates and transportation hubs, small stalls provide drinks, snacks, rice dishes, fruit, and ready-to-eat meals. The city's movement creates its own network of places to eat. Then the camera enters the market, where the range of ingredients becomes wider. Fried snacks sit beside vegetables. Fresh herbs are arranged near limes, chilies, eggplants, and long green beans. Seafood rests on ice. Noodles are weighed and packed. Sauces simmer in metal pots. Every table adds another color, shape, and smell to the scene. Thai cooking is built on balance. Sweetness may be matched with soreness. Chili heat can be softened by coconut milk, herbs, or fresh vegetables. Salty sauces add depth, while lime and tamarind bring brightness. The exact combination changes from one dish to another, but the aim is rarely a single simple flavor. The pleasure comes from contrast. At one stall, ingredients are dropped into a large pan and turned quickly over high heat. At another, pieces of food are fried until crisp and golden. Vendors shape dumplings, stir curries, grill skewers, and prepare noodles. The cooking happens in full view, allowing customers to watch the transformation from raw ingredients to a finished meal. The market is also a place of memory. Recipes are learned within families. Customers return to the same seller because they recognize a particular taste. A stall may look temporary, but the knowledge behind it may have been passed down for years. In this way, food preserves history without needing a museum. Fresh produce reveals the tropical abundance behind Bangkok's kitchens. Baskets hold herbs, vegetables, chilies, and fruit that appear in everyday meals. These ingredients connect the capital to farms, orchards, fishing communities, and wholesale markets across Thailand. A plate served on a Bangkok street may carry flavors and products from many different regions of the country. The people moving through the market are as important as the food itself. Vendors call to customers. Shoppers compare prices and quality. Workers carry boxes through narrow passages. Regular customers know exactly where to stop, while visitors move more slowly, trying to understand the variety around them. The market is crowded because it is useful, not because it has been arranged as a performance. Drinks are prepared beside hot food, offering relief from Bangkok's heat. Iced tea, coffee, fruit milk, and sweet syrups are mixed in seconds. A cold drink becomes part of the rhythm of the market, something held while walking, eating, or waiting for transportation. By the end of the morning, the narrow lanes are full. The market feels almost too crowded to move through, yet business continues with remarkable coordination. Money changes hands, meals are packed, ingredients disappear from trays and are quickly replaced. This is Bangkok at close range, practical, hardworking, generous, and intensely alive. The market is also a lesson in timing. Some ingredients must arrive before sunrise. Certain dishes sell best in the morning, while others appear later when workers begin searching for lunch. Vendors watch the flow of people and adjust constantly. They know when to prepare more food, when to lower the heat, and when the busiest period is about to begin. Nothing remains still for long. The market changes hour by hour, yet the work behind it is carefully organized through experience, habit, and an understanding of the neighborhood. Beyond the commercial districts lies an older Bangkok, where temple walls, quiet lanes, family shops, and historic neighborhoods reveal how the city developed. Here, the architecture changes. Roofs rise in layers of red, green, and gold. White walls separate sacred spaces from the street. Decorative details appear around doors, windows, columns, and courtyards. Wat Bhuwanuet stands within this older urban landscape. Like many important temple complexes in Bangkok, it is not only a collection of beautiful buildings, it is a place shaped by religious practice, education, ceremony, and community life. Inside the grounds, the noise of traffic becomes more distant, and the movement of the city slows. Thai temple architecture rewards close attention. From a distance, the roof lines form a dramatic silhouette. Up close, the surfaces reveal mirrored glass, carved wood, painted patterns, gold ornament, and symbolic figures. Every angle seems designed to lead the eye upward. The buildings express devotion through craftsmanship. The temple courtyard creates a sense of order and space that contrasts with the dense streets outside. Walk only a short distance beyond the walls, however, and Bangkok returns immediately. Cars pass old shop houses, small businesses open onto the pavement, residents move through lanes that have been used for generations. This part of the city is not frozen in the past. People live, work, shop, and eat here. Historic buildings may contain modern businesses. Old recipes are sold through new delivery services. Motorcycles stand beside wooden doors. Bangkok's heritage survives not because the city refuses to change, but because people continue to use and adapt these places. Walking through the old city, visitors often notice how quickly the atmosphere changes. A busy road may lead to a quiet courtyard. A row of commercial buildings may suddenly open onto a temple entrance. The sound of engines fades beneath bells, footsteps, and voices speaking softly. These transitions are part of Bangkok's character. Sacred space is not always far from ordinary life. It may begin only a few meters from a shop, a bus stop, or a crowded market, offering a brief change in pace without leaving the city behind. One small shop prepares mango sticky rice, a simple dessert built from ripe mango, glutinous rice, and coconut milk. The ingredients are familiar, but the balance matters. The mango must be sweet and fragrant. The rice should be soft but not heavy. Coconut adds richness, while a touch of salt sharpens the flavor. Like many beloved foods, its power comes from simplicity handled well. A few streets away, Chinese signs and lanterns return. Bangkok's Chinese community has played a major role in the city's trade, food, and urban culture. In Chinatown, Thai and Chinese traditions have influenced one another for generations. Temples, markets, restaurants, medicine shops, gold stores, and family businesses create a district with its own strong identity. During Chinese festivals, the neighborhood becomes even more colorful. Red decorations hang above the street, lanterns glow after dark, firecrackers, incense offerings, and performances transform familiar roads into ceremonial spaces. These celebrations remind us that Bangkok is not culturally uniform. It has been shaped by many communities. Food appears again, but in a different atmosphere. Grills are placed beside market stalls. Skewers line up over the heat. Small cakes cook in round metal pans. Sauces thicken in woks, and snacks are prepared for people who eat while walking. The market brings together Thai flavors, Chinese influences, and the creativity of individual sellers. Yet Bangkok's oldest transportation routes are not roads, they are waterways. Before elevated trains and multi-lane highways, canals connected homes, temples, farms, markets, and the river. Boats carried people and goods through the city. Although many canals have changed or disappeared, water still shapes Bangkok's geography and memory. At the pier, long boats arrive with speed. Their engines echo beneath bridges and along concrete walls. Passengers wait for only a short moment before stepping aboard. These boats are not simply attractions. On some routes, they remain practical forms of urban transportation, helping people move through areas where road traffic can be slow. From the water, Bangkok looks different. The city is seen from behind rather than from the main entrance. Houses stand close to the canal. Small docks connect homes to the water. Laundry, plants, tools, and household objects reveal daily life along the banks. Grand buildings and ordinary homes share the same waterway. Some canals are narrow and quiet. Others carry commuters, market boats, or visitors. In certain neighborhoods, the canal remains the center of community life. A boat may deliver goods, carry a resident to a pier, or bring customers toward a riverside market. Water is not only scenery, it is part of the city's infrastructure. Traveling by canal also changes the speed at which Bangkok is experienced. On the road, attention is pulled toward traffic signs and intersections. On the water, the view unfolds more slowly. Reflections break apart behind the boat, houses appear one by one, and bridges frame the next section of the journey. The city feels less like a map of destinations and more like a continuous landscape. Even the sound is different. Engines echo across the water, then disappear, leaving moments of unexpected quiet between neighborhoods. The slow journey through these neighborhoods reveals a Bangkok that many visitors miss. There are fewer towers, fewer bright signs, and less traffic noise. Instead, there are wooden houses, temple walls, footbridges, trees, and reflections on the water. The atmosphere feels far from the modern skyline, even though the center of the capital is not distant. This contrast explains why Bangkok was once described as a city of canals. The river and waterways allowed communities to grow before roads dominated urban life. Today, the remaining canals offer a glimpse of how the city once moved and how some residents still live. As the boat travels farther, the city begins to change again. Temple roofs appear above houses. Decorative figures stand near courtyards. Murals bring color to walls. A golden Buddha rises beside modern buildings. The sacred and the ordinary remain close together. The journey returns toward the old city. Monks walk through temple corridors. Guardians stand beside entrances. Roofs overlap in layers, each covered with intricate decoration. In the distance, Chinatown's signs rise above traffic, reminding us that Bangkok's districts are connected by more than roads. They are connected by trade, faith, migration, food, and water. Then Yaowarat appears beside the Chao Phraya. Often called the Temple of Dawn, its central tower forms one of Bangkok's most recognizable silhouettes. Seen from across the river, it seems both monumental and delicate. Its appearance changes with the light, pale in the morning, bright under the sun, and dark against an evening sky. The river widens and the city opens around it. Boats cross between the old and modern banks. Temple spires rise on one side, while hotels and towers stand on the other. This is Bangkok's central image, different centuries sharing the same horizon. Inside a temple, golden surfaces reflect warm light. Worshippers sit quietly before images of the Buddha. Outside, the city continues to move, but within this space, the atmosphere becomes still. Bangkok's temples offer more than visual beauty. They create moments of pause in a city known for speed. Across the Thornbury side, a giant seated Buddha rises above rooftops and canals. From the air, temple compounds form islands of red, white, and gold within dense neighborhoods. These sacred spaces are not separated from everyday life. Homes, markets, schools, roads, and waterways surround them. As daylight begins to fade, the river becomes a moving line of light. Ferries, longboats, and smaller vessels cross paths while buildings on both banks begin to glow. The water reflects gold from temple roofs, white from hotels, and red from distant signs. From this position, Bangkok's contrasts no longer seem separate. They appear together in a single view. The river carries the old city, the modern skyline, working neighborhoods, sacred buildings, and evening traffic within the same changing reflection. The royal and religious heart of Bangkok reveals the highest level of traditional craftsmanship. Roofs are layered with colored tiles. Spires are covered with gold. Courtyards are arranged with precision. Guardians, statues, and decorative towers frame spaces designed for ceremony and reverence. Along the river, Wat Arun catches the evening light. Across the water, the skyline grows brighter. Boats continue to move between the banks, linking old Bangkok with the modern city. The river does not divide these worlds, it connects them. A few minutes later, the scene changes once more. Motorcycles cross busy roads. Chinatown glows red. A Chinese temple shines beneath hanging lanterns. Office towers rise in the distance. The city moves from sacred silence to urban energy without losing either identity. From above, Bangkok becomes a vast pattern of rooftops, towers, bridges, streets, and water. The Golden Mount glows over the old city at night. The Chao Phraya reflects hotels, temples, and passing boats. Every district seems to tell a different story, yet all belong to the same capital. Bangkok cannot be understood through a single landmark. It is not only temples, and it is not only nightlife. It is not only luxury, shopping, street food, traffic, or canals. It is the relationship between all of them. It is a monk walking past a food stall, a commuter standing beneath a temple roof, a family business surviving beside a modern shopping center, a boat passing beneath a highway, a festival filling the street with water and laughter, and an old recipe prepared for a new generation. This is why Bangkok feels like a city of two worlds and also many more. Tradition and modernity are not kept in separate museums. They meet every day in the streets. Perhaps this is the best way to understand Bangkok, not by deciding whether it is ancient or modern, peaceful or chaotic, spiritual or commercial, but by accepting that it is all of these at once. The city asks visitors to pay attention to transitions. Look upward from a food cart, and a glass tower may fill the sky. Step away from a station, and a quiet lane may appear. Cross the river, and the entire horizon changes. Bangkok's identity lies in these sudden shifts and in the people who move between them every day. For visitors, Bangkok can be overwhelming at first. It is hot, loud, crowded, and constantly changing. But beyond that first impression lies a city of neighborhoods, routines, beliefs, and human connections. To see Bangkok clearly, we must look beyond the skyline and beyond the famous attraction. We must watch how people travel, cook, worship, trade, celebrate, and live beside the river. Only then does Bangkok reveal its deeper character. A city always moving forward while carrying its past with it. This deeper view also changes the way a visitor remembers the city. The strongest memories may not come from the largest monument or the highest tower, but from smaller encounters. Steam rising from a roadside pot, a boat approaching a wooden pier, a vendor preparing the same dish with practiced hands, or a quiet prayer taking place only steps from heavy traffic. These moments connect the spectacular with the ordinary. They show that Bangkok's beauty is not limited to famous views. It is found in the daily relationship between people, place, movement, and memory. This is Bangkok, where old and new share the same streets, and where every journey leads from one world into another.